I feel as though I've been around long enough, 46 years here in Nashua. I've worked with many community projects as well as nonprofits and for-profit companies. And I think I have a lot to offer to the city in trying to get us in a better place.
Now, you're a House rep now.
Yes, I am for
And
12 years now.
What ward?
Ward 9.
Ward 9. But you were an alderman.
Yes, I was.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
You look
I was.
familiar to me
Yes.
from the last time, yeah. So, I mean, like, what? You felt like throwing your hat in the ring again?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I need to. After speaking to quite a few constituents, they asked me, why don't you come back? And so I said, let me think about it. And I took really a couple months to think about it and decided, go for it, Linda.
You guys have a big meeting tonight,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
On some of the infrastructure things that were put forward last Tuesday at this time?
Yeah.
Is that
They have homeless stuff too on the agenda.
is that what that is for tonight?
Yes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be there tonight, but I'm trying.
All right.
I'm working on it.
And of course, what is the area of Ward 9?
I would say exit 4, between exit 4 and exit 5 on the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
Okay. And it would be, let's say, the way it's set up, if you're exit 4, if you get off at exit 4, you would be making a right. Okay. If you're getting off at exit 5, you're going to be making a left, like for Northeastern Boulevard and further back.
Okay.
So
you,
it's a-
you see a homeless issue over there?
No, I see the homeless issue basically here.
Right.
In downtown area.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
It is an
It's
issue.
sad in this day and time.
Well, what do you think
Well,
is
I
the
think-
solution?
I don't know that I have that solution. I wish I did. I'm willing to work on that. I do believe that we have a lot of the homeless. Actually, there are other issues that as to why they're homeless. Some, whether it's mental, whether it's drugs, whatever it might be. I just think that we need more services to help them to kind of overcome their issues that they have with themselves.
Since you've been here 46 years, have you seen a big jump in the homeless population yourself?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is probably the largest that I've ever seen. What we have now today,
And
it's,
what contributes to that?
um,
I mean, like,
I'm
when,
gonna-
when were you an alderman before?
4 years ago, I think it's been like 4 years.
Maybe the problems should have been addressed back then, though.
Oh,
It's knowing that they were coming upon the corner because
Well,
I've
they
been on
were.
downtown Main Street almost 15 years.
but it hasn't been like this.
No, but we saw the beginnings of it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have services here. I must say, services here in Nashua. We just need more services.
Yeah, they're overwhelmed right now.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Your hospitals are overwhelmed. Everyone's
Yep.
overwhelmed right now.
I've visited several of the soup kitchens and the homeless
Yep.
shelters and everything, and it's just there's no one fix because it's a
would agree.
revolving door. They go from one, they use up their time on that one, they go to another one, they use up their time on that one, and they're doing this. And
Yeah.
it's there is no one fix. It's
No, it
so
isn't.
so big right now. One of the things is money. You're gonna need money to do all the things that people want to do. More help, more employees to do the help. We don't have enough for the facilities to address everybody's needs.
Well, let's keep in mind that it used to be a thing where, we receive more money from the state
Yeah,
and from the county.
that's correct.
So if you don't allocate that money correctly, you're not going to get it here in Nashua or any other city or town.
Do you know the numbers on that, Dave, by any chance? Of the money that we used to get that we don't get anymore? Do we have a dollar figure on that? Percentage figure on
Well,
it?
it depends how far you go back. At least for me, that started in 2011 when there was a deep recession, and Governor Lynch was in place then, and him and the reps and stuff cut a lot from towns and cities. I don't think it was anything related to homelessness.
No. Just I'm talking about money being given to the
Oh,
city for
we-
them
yeah,
to do
we
a thing.
We
right.
lost millions of dollars and never got it back. And I don't know this year how it is. I'm not involved, so I don't know exactly what they're going to get from the city, from the state this year. But
Well, one of the things that Dave and I talk about, because Dave is a guest on Friday mornings, is the recent article in the last 10, 15 days of the state declining to give some proceeds of the casinos that they host to the cities that host them, which I still can't understand why not. Having a planning board, this, that, the other thing, go forth, take a chance by putting these things in, because besides the good of it for whatever they're doing, there's a lot of bad. There's families that are getting torn up. It's worse than you might think. You would think that they would give some of the proceeds to the city that's hosting them, but the state said no. You're aware of that as a House rep?
I am aware of that.
Did you vote
At
on
the
that?
state, I would say yes.
Well, I got to get Senator Avon on and find out what's up with that.
Is that something new where the state is now not dispersing
we never-
those
they ne-
funds?
they
Oh,
never
we've never
did.
gotten them.
Well, he's talking about the city government. No, they've never gotten any money
No,
from
so it was brought up that it should be, and it was turned down.
Was that a decision on the state level, or was that the
State
casinos?
level.
No, the
saying-
states run the casinos.
Okay.
All of the rules are all the state
But
rules.
I mean,
Okay, so
when you-
charitable gaming does not mean giving it to the city in their
No,
eyes.
and it
Gives
never
to
did.
It gives to the charity in the city, but
Gotcha.
not to the city
And
government.
the nonprofits have definitely benefited greatly.
Big time.
Big time. But
And
the
Well,
good thing
there's
about that is they offer a lot of services.
Right.
Yeah. But
Oh, I agree with that. I'm not
every
saying that.
little bit helps besides continually property taxes. So if they were to give a little bit to the city, I thought it would have been a good thing. It got turned down, so it's not going to happen. It's no, I don't get it at all, especially when we're, I have the mayor on every Thursday, and we've gone over it countless times about the amount of money that the state used to give us for retirement that they don't anymore either.
Oh, that was in 2011. That's when that started.
And right now, every time the mayor comes up or somebody comes up with an idea, the public's going to go bananas, because it's like, are you going to raise our taxes again? So
Yeah,
it's a catch-22.
It really, really is,
Yeah.
But I believe that one of the things that have happened at the state level is the money that we give to non-public schools. And that money, unfortunately, is really hurting our students here in the public school system. And that's what I would like to see a change.
So, what can you do as an alderman to help with the public education? Because I know that was one of your
Yes.
main focuses.
I love public education. I came through the public school system myself. I know that I worked in the school system, did my best, tried at least, to actually fill in for teachers when they're absent and things of that nature. Last 2 years, I've not been able to do that, but for about 9 years, I worked in the public school system. And I amazed at the curriculum that our children have in the public school system. And, some people believe that they don't have different things that, or different programs for the more challenged children, but we do. We really do. And so I like to see more money coming back into our public school system.
Why not run for school board? What?
School board is different, okay? That's never been my pet peeve. I've always been more concerned about what's happening in the city or in the state, even from a nonprofit perspective as
Okay,
well.
let's say you get elected. As a matter of fact, it's next week.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
week
Tuesday.
from today.
And Dave and I,
Yeah.
as of right now, working on doing a live show from 8 to 9. Maybe?
I didn't say yes to that.
George is very hard to say no to,
May-
Dave.
may-
Good luck.
maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe say yes.
You're going to come in with fire. I know that. What is it that you'd like to see accomplished, or that you're going to, is your flag when you...
I think my flag is that I really want to see a more dynamic funds coming in for education for the city of Nashua children. I want to see the homeless population get the assistance that they need, whether it's programs or whatever it might be. I want to see that happen here. And again, that takes money. That takes more nonprofits, pretty much, or medical, the medical field, which is overtaxed as well, because they're stressed out, because it's just really bad timing right now for us here in New Hampshire, period, let alone Nashua, the city. But everyone's struggling, and everyone's trying to work this situation out, and I'm here to help.
Do you think...
I come with a lot of knowledge in terms of schools, in terms of medical fields as well. Been on them all. In terms of unions, done it all. by the way, I retired after 34 and a half years from Verizon in management.
Congratulations. Now
Yeah.
you have time on your hands.
Yeah, time
Okay.
on my hand to do all this.
Linda
So-
Gottreit's in the studio here. Wendy Hunt from the Chamber. Dave Fredette, and I'm George. Do you think at this point where we are with homeless, not just here, in just about every state, United States of America, that this has now got to the point where it's out of a state's hands and we need to get the federal government involved? Funding wise?
Funding wise, yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I know as a House rep, we kind of more want to lean on our senators and, U.S. congresswomen and men to do that, right?
Yeah, and you know what? What's amazing is that the ones that we do have now have brought so much money here to the states, back to New Hampshire. I have to give them their kudos on that.
Yeah.
Throughout their terms, there's always something either for the homeless or something for veterans. There's always something, and I just have to say kudos to each and every one of them.
Did you bring back the old posse when you decided to run for alderman again? I mean, people that supported you back then and helped you with your campaign. Did you call them up, say, "Hey, look, we're doing this again.
Actually, they
We're
called
putting the band back together"?
Well, the thing is, they called me up. That's how I got here. So yes, yes, and neighbors are quite interesting. That's all I can say.
So do you still do the same way you did the first time around, knocking on doors,
Oh,
talking to
yeah.
people? And what are
I
the...
haven't done too much knocking on doors. I have to do a little more, but I've had a lot of other people knocking on doors.
No
for
sitting
me.
at the dump on a Saturday morning?
No.
Okay.
No,
That was
no.
that was very new to me back in 20 plus years ago when we moved to New Hampshire. We're like, what is this dump of which you speak? What do you mean there's no? They're not coming to pick up my trash. But you're right. All the politicians, it was just crazy. All my friends that don't live here think that's completely insane. I'm like, that's some of the best networking, other than, of course,
Wow.
joining the Chamber
Right.
of Commerce.
And as far as your constituents is concerned,
Yeah.
they've voiced concerns to you. What are their issues?
Let's put it this way. I was basically asked, are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? Because I am a people's person. I'm really about people. All the work that I have done, even the organizations here, I've always been in trying to work with people and, see their needs and try to fix their needs or try to come up with or give them direction into another organization or another nonprofit or another church, or it doesn't matter. But I've always been a people's person that's willing to give direction or help assist in where someone is trying to go. And it's never been about me. It's always been about us.
Well, you know what? One of the reasons that is because if you gave 34 years of your life to helping others through that company you work for, that's just the person you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a little about the budget process, because that's going to be coming up, correct? So so you're going to be focusing on funds for homeless and education.
Yes. I would love, that would be my focus in trying to make some changes there. Yeah.
When would that
But-
budget process take place?
I'm not sure. And
You're
are
talking
you
about the
referring
city
to
or the
Nashua?
Nashua?
City.
You're talking about
The
Nashua.
city.
Yeah,
It
she's talking
begins-
about Nashua.
The mayor usually hands the budget to the board in April.
April. Okay.
April,
then-
Wendy.
And then they meet.
Okay.
They meet. The budget committee meets for like 2 months straight, 3 nights a week.
It just feels like we just got through it.
Right. Well,
It
sometimes
feels like we just got through it.
different organizations have different. We used to be July 1st to June 30th, and now we've switched a couple years ago to January. The calendar year. So I'm always a step behind, I guess, in trying to figure out when everybody else's budget season is. Having my own budget season.
Unfortunately, cities, towns, and the state are all fiscal. They all
Right,
have that
right.
July 1 to June
Yep.
30th, which I cannot stand.
Some of our organizations have gone to October 1st to even
Oh,
confuse
that-
us more.
Talking to microphone.
Right here.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so how do people go about reaching out to you, maybe asking questions, finding out more about you, your objectives?
I'm online, so folks can go online, and if they can Google Linda Harriet Gathright or Linda Gathright, either one.
You used Harriet before.
Yeah, Harriet is my maiden name.
That's how I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Linda.
All right.
And actually, it's Harriet, but everybody says Harriet,
Yeah.
so I say Harriet Gathright as well.
Ward 9.
Yeah.
It's going for Alderman in Ward 9. Is there an opponent in Ward 9?
Yes, it's John Sullivan.
He's coming up next.
Oh, jeez. This should be fun. Well, Linda, I mean, you got your hands full.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, but you're still
There is.
accomplishing it at the House level as well. Now, how long have you been a House rep?
12 years. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
currently the ranking member for criminal justice and public safety for the last 6 years.
We may need you in the
good.
future.
Let's hope not,
We
George.
may need to
Yeah.
interview her in the future.
You're the chairman of that right now?
The chairman is Roy.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the chairman.
All right, Linda, thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we, I know it's short-lived here, but
No, I'm just going to remind people that, in my time as an alderwoman or alderman in Nashua, I was happy to be a part of the center. I was happy to be a part of the Arlington Community Center. I was happy to be a part of the Brian McCarthy School. I was happy to be a part of the Harris Road Park that myself and another alderman put into place. And so I'm happy to be a part of Nashua, to be honest with you.
More work
and
to do.
very active.
More
yes,
work,
still
yeah.
active. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I feel that, I think good government comes from competition. And, if you look at the founding of our country, it was founded on compromise. It was founded on the give and take. And I think for anybody that watches city politics, you need to have a give and take. You need to find out, you need to pressure test these ideas. And whatever the idea is, be it a bonding resolution or something to do with an ordinance, I think it's okay to ask questions and push back a little bit and offer up a different perspective. And I feel that that's what I do on the board. And then for the ward directly, I communicate with people. Dave is a Ward Niner. I send out a newsletter occasionally. I do Facebook updates. I hold ward meetings for people to come and ask questions. And, I'll host a special guest, maybe the police chief or maybe DPW, just for people to come out and enjoy it. I enjoy the work. I enjoy working with constituents. Things in the chamber don't typically go my way, but that's fine. But I like working with people to, maybe it's a pothole or maybe it's,
light.
Dave had a street light
Street light.
situation. Explain this, explain that. So that's truly, that's like the iceberg effect. What a lot of people see is just the tip, of what's going on. But underneath, there's a lot that goes into being a ward alderman, and that's the stuff I
You
like.
better get your questions in. He's a radio
I
guy.
know.
I'm going to tell you right now, he'll
Between
go
the
till
two
12.
of you.
He will go till 12.
I will filibuster. Joe.
Filibuster.
Absolutely.
So, John, how many nights? Because this surprised me when I was talking to other aldermen. How many nights do you actually have meetings a week when you're an alderman?
It comes and goes. Typically, the last week of the month, which is this week, but typically between committees and regular meetings, you're out maybe twice a week, but then there's times where I'm out 4 times a week. And then the meetings can go. Last night we had a budget meeting. It went 15 minutes. Last week we had a Board of Aldermen meeting that went 4.5 hours.
And
That was
what about tonight? What do you think tonight's going to look like?
I would say the over/under is 2.5 hours, and I'm going to take the over. That's my
and tonight
guess.
is the big conversation about
It's the vote.
vote on homelessness.
Yeah,
what
but
we're going to do.
Yeah, but I think it's all going to depend on how many people show up. I think so. Last week, the 4.5 hours, over an hour was public comment. So if no one shows up tonight, then I think everybody got out on the table as far as the aldermen go, how they feel about the ordinance. So I don't expect a lot of back and forth, but I don't know.
How do the police feel about the ordinance? That would be my question.
Can we explain a little about the ordinance for our listeners?
There's not
that
just
may
one. There's 4
Well,
of them,
you're
correct?
right.
I don't know.
Three big ones.
One got tabled last week. I believe there was 4 brought before to everybody. I think it was the bathroom one that got tabled.
Yes, that is tabled.
But maybe I should run for alderman. I think because I know what I'm talking about.
That is the city hall bathrooms. That one got tabled.
Right.
And then you have Selena Ave,
Yes.
which is up in the north corridor there off of Amherst Street. Then you have the big one, which is no public camping, and then the other one, which is no RVs.
Yeah.
And how do the police feel about it? So Sunday morning, so I go over to Sweet Heat on Sunday mornings, and I came out, and there were 2 officers by the Pine Street extension. I went over and I chatted with them, and then before I knew it, there are now 4, and they were responding to a wellness call, as they said it, and we started talking about the ordinances, and the police said, we need to. This is getting to be a big situation, so we need help, and that's basically what they said, and I hear it.
But what's the solution? I don't see. I haven't been following it, so I can't.
Move along. I'm just saying that's what
Move along.
that's where we're at. That's what they're voting on tonight.
It's not, well, to that point, to go into it a little bit further, it's like it really is like a long calculus problem. I mean, it's not 1 + 1 = 2.
No.
It's addition, division, multiplication. I mean, it really is. It reminds me of the formula that Will Hunting did in Good Will Hunting, where he's trying to figure it out on the chalkboard. I mean, it literally is. I call it a math problem, but it's a complex problem. And will these ordinances fix it? I've been on their record saying absolutely not. But it's part of the formula. It's got to be.
Do we even know what the actual numbers are of the homeless?
I've heard 75.
75.
I've heard over 200.
Yeah.
Plus,
Well, I mean
plus,
in the
yeah.
Pine Street extension.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
just in the
Yeah.
Pine Street.
Yeah.
But I mean overall, because of course we're downtown on Main Street.
Yes.
But it's not just a downstream, the Pine Street or
I
downtown.
I know more things. I see a lot of different things on Northeastern Boulevard
well,
that I never saw before.
well, and I went to Market Basket Sunday morning, and they were responding. There's, right where Pier 1 used to be, where the State Liquor Store now is. Somebody had overdosed, right, and it was in the morning. And I have not seen that person since. He has a partner that's out there still, so I'm not sure what happened there. But it's all over.
Just so everybody knows, which a lot of people don't know.
What is that?
Well,
Is that Mines Falls?
I have 6 live cameras in downtown Nashua that are going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Viewable at Nashua Public Television's website, nptv6.tv. This
that.
is the Pine Street Extension entrance. Okay? This view is out of our transmitter shed. 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now, I just went out there and cleaned this guy up. All right, because I said, hey, you're in my camera. So he moved out of the camera. But you can see, and I'm very happy to see that the state came down and took the sign out that was graffitied. My building was graffitied, which I painted. But anybody can watch this.
Yeah.
And the police can watch it, and the
know it.
aldermen can watch it, and everybody can watch it. They don't even know. I know. We have 6 of them in the city. It's a beautiful view. You should see it when the leaves are gone and the river and the snow. But this is the area to the left of this that we're talking about, which somebody named a little bit of a city. But the police are always here behind this camera,
Yes.
moving things about. Now, it might get a little cleaned up more when they tear down the NIMCO building.
They're working.
You know,
on
there'll be a lot more activity over
They've
there.
torn that down. I noticed. It's gone.
Oh, when did they do it?
Last week
I
they
know.
were working on it.
I drove in on Sunday morning. And
Holy
it was,
Toledo! Yeah, okay.
saw
There was a lot
you
of
got to be
metal
able
in
to
there.
move that thing, George, so you can.
I can. I can. But anyway, anybody can see what's happening down there, and it's cleaned up a little bit. But as John says, it's and I like the way he put it. It's one number in the formula of trying to fix this, because if we already know what our judicial system's like, and the police are constantly rearresting criminals, what do you think is going to happen with this? But for the public, do you want to know what their attitude is? Out of sight, out of mind. That's
Well, I would say, I think part of a plan that I would have is, you mentioned it, Wendy. How many? What's the count? I think what gets managed gets measured, or measured gets managed. I think that we should be very open and honest and public about how many homeless people there are in the city, and then put out quarterly updates that say, we're working on the problem. We found 5 people help. We found another 3 people were able to find either permanent housing. We should tell these stories and let people know that the city is working on it in conjunction with other nonprofits that we have, that we can just rely on them, and we have to go to the state. We need help from the state, because a city of Nashua, 90,000-ish people, can't be expected to manage this all on their own. We need help from the state. And I think that's a conversation that we should have.
John Sullivan, Ward 9 candidate, Wendy Hunt, Nashua Chamber, the County Treasurer, Dave Fritton. I'm George. How can people go about finding out more about you, your objectives and such?
Go to voteforsully.com. That's my website. Right? So there you go. It's got, and if you want to ask, if you want to send me an email, my email address is there. If you want to call me, I answer every email and reply to every phone call.
One of the questions I've always had for a guy like you is, why not run for Alderman at large?
This situation, so I have two seniors in college this fall, and I was doing the math because I had thought about it, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I have two seniors in college. I'm either at parents' weekends, football games, homecomings, or whatever. I am enjoying my kids' last year in college. So I have three kids. One has already graduated. One is down in Kentucky, and the other one's in New York. And I am trying to manage all of this because I want to enjoy this part of my life. I have a regular job. I have this job as an alderman, but I'm also a parent, and I want to be able to be there for them. I would not have had time to run a citywide campaign.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Sure.
That's a lot of work.
Sure is. Wait till you run for mayor.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, that's a citywide job, I reckon.
Well, you know what? But by the time it's available, your kids you're all set. There's no excuse.
Well, they better graduate.
Well, I think they will, I can tell you right now. Anything else business-wise you want to talk with John about?
No, I think he's done a great job telling us what's going on. But I do know the time commitment of an alderman is just kudos to anybody that runs for this position because it's a big time commitment.
Well, it's not an easy gig.
It's not an easy gig.
I've been watching it 17 years here downtown Nashua. It's not an easy gig, man. A lot of people over there are afraid to say a thing for retribution or whatnot. Then there's no doubt about it. There are people that aren't as involved as others. It's just nature of the beast when you have that many. But
Well, George, I just try to put myself out there. Every decision that I've made over the past 4 years probably hasn't been the right one, but I don't run and hide from it. I mean, if somebody has something to say, then I'll either talk to them on the phone or meet them face to face when I'm out walking my dogs. I mean, it happens. And
what are the concerns of the constituents in Ward 9 right now? Those that you have talked to. I don't think you guys, have as much of a homeless issue as we have
don't.
downtown Nashua. So what are their concerns? Taxes, property taxes, money, right?
yeah, and the fact that we're probably about as far away from downtown as you can get, and I think a lot of the Ward 9 folks wonder how are we allocating resources and capital in the city for every ward, and be it a park, be it a sidewalk. There's a lot of resources that go down here in downtown, but how about the other wards? How about further out from the city? What are we getting? And those are fair questions.
What does Ward 9 need?
I think we need a lot of help with our sidewalks. Our sidewalks are in not only repairing, but we need new ones. I mean, there's a big housing development on Ridge Road, and they did put in a nice sidewalk, but I think that there's one that we need there. We need help on Searles Road. Searles Road is a danger, and the way it curves and dips and goes all over, I think we need a sidewalk. I think we need some crosswalks. So those are a lot of the micro things that now that, should I get in for a third term, I'd like to start focusing on.
Okay, so then let me ask you a financial question and how it flows. The Public Works Department comes forth with its budget, April, May, when we do that, and they run into things like this. Now, is that budget, do they use that money to contract others to do this work, or do they need to go to the city and ask for more money to do something that they might not have been preparing to do in the future in their budget, for instance, sidewalks?
Like paving is done by a third-party company.
Right, but they have that planned out a few years in advance. They don't have sidewalks planned out.
I haven't seen a plan.
No, I'm saying. So,
Yeah,
I don't think it's in the budget.
We build a lot of new in this city. I think maybe we should hit the pause button and start to focus on maintaining what we have.
Now you're starting to sound like the old David Dean when he was on my program back in the day. Okay, and when he ran for mayor, and I had him on every Tuesday for a year and a half, and his stuff wasn't sexy enough. You know, he's talking about pipes and underground stuff and this, that
It's
we're
so
dealing
boring,
with today.
George. It's
Well,
so
look at
boring.
Main Street now. It gets dug up every two, like right down at the end here. So I'm just wondering how that's going to get, worked on financially when it's not in their budget to do it.
Have you seen the new stupid little things they've done on Kinsey Street?
Yes, that took
Did you
almost
see that?
3 months.
That's
of,
all federal rules.
That's
what
federal
what
money.
a bunch of stupid.
Well,
First of all, a lot of money.
Wait a minute, it's not stupid
Oh.
for somebody who has a wheelchair there.
Oh, it's ridiculous. The thing is almost in the road.
But if it's for somebody who has a wheelchair in that area, Dave, it's not stupid.
Yeah, we'll see how the plows go this
Oh,
winter.
that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I never seen anything so crazy.
I
in my
know,
life.
I know.
But anyway, sorry.
Not all money's good money.
I feel like I'm at Thanksgiving dinner here.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, you might.
How do you
There is
do with
pub-
this, Wendy?
You
How
might
do you do
get
with this?
you might get invited to my
okay.
Friday morning show where he's a guest all the time. So you
Come
may
on.
be you may be coming in on
I'm
a
in.
Friday.
I'm going to open up my
But
calendar.
this you want to know something, John? This is how you find out about a person besides a scripted, cut sheet of asking the same old questions over and over between somebody.
Yeah.
There is no other way to meet somebody or know who they are until you're dealing with me. I can guarantee you that. Because we're talking about the real things. You can't
Yes.
dodge me.
Yes.
The script's not going to cut it.
Yeah, you're right out there.
And if you can pay attention to what's happening in social media and whatnot, either is the public anymore.
Right.
They want real stuff. They don't want to be bamboozled. Take a look, as we repeat all the time, at the pathetic numbers of people coming out to vote. What does that tell you? They don't think.
I would be shocked if 20% of the
20?
electorate shows up.
I just have the raw number. I think it's going to be about 12,000
Citywide.
citywide.
That's not good.
We have too many
not.
important things. People need to get out and vote. Honestly,
We had the city clerk in last week, and he said the absentee ballot requests are very low.
Yeah, he was here on Friday.
And that's how you know how busy a campaign.
And we try to get everybody on here. I have invited every member of. Here's another thing, John, as an alderman, I'm going to work with you. These people that avoid me, they shouldn't be in their positions. They are public figures.
Yes.
If I invite them to come on and do an interview about what you do and tell the
Elected or non-elected, sir. Elected or non-elected, they're public figures.
public, and some of them are
Yes.
appointed.
Yes.
Okay, point is that a lot of people don't know what you do.
Yes.
So come on, let's have a chat.
Yes.
No. They tell me no. What? No. What do you mean no? That's so this is one of the reasons why people are frustrated. Also, calling and not getting anything done. And I can probably go by your track record. Anybody that's reached out to you in Ward 9, you followed through on. So
I think you talk about local elections. You look at how many people show up for the public hearing for the budget. I mean, if you take away the city directors that have to be there, it's 6 people.
yeah, but
in
you
a
got a
city
good
of
turnout last
90,000.
week, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, about something that affects them deeply.
And then the Chinese water company, we had a lot of people turn out for
Hoo,
that.
hoo,
It is
hoo.
that. It's always that one issue
That
that
thing-
gets people fired
That
up.
never stops. That
No.
Chinese thing's never going to stop. I have the mayor on every Thursday. We broke that story in March. Okay, I had him. He sits where you sit, Wendy, and I said I want to read you something, and I read it to him, and he sat in a chair. He was. I don't know nothing about this. This was live on the radio, and every time he comes in, I say, "Hey, let's talk about something new." Nung Fu Springs, and he's like, "Do I got to do this again?" So
Is the
anyway,
heat on in here?
but when you start pushing buttons on people that are passionate about something, they will show up.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
well, hopefully people be passionate next week and get out and vote.
Please vote for Sullivan Ward 9 Alderman
Sully.
next Tuesday.
Did
Vote
you
for
put-
Sully.com.
Did you put that on your little
And
sign,
what
Sully?
school?
It's on my website.
You should know as a radio guy, that's catchy as heck.
I'm telling you.
And that would work just in itself. Sully.
Yes.
Vote Sully.
Yes.
You can be vague like the city is. Excuse me, Dave. The state is. The state is vague about question number 2. You can be vague on your thing. Just say Sully.
Vote no on 2.
Yeah, this is
See, I
hard.
should have hired you as my campaign manager 60 days ago.
I could have done that. I could have done that.
Well, he would have gotten the word out.
Right now, though, I just applied for the job as the PUC chairman for the state of New Hampshire. So
You
everybody, let's see if
yeah.
I get that.
Well, that would
Good
be
luck.
Hey,
great.
listen, that's an appointed by the governor. And we read the criteria for the job on air, and I am dead on for it. I am right up for it.
Good for you.
Absolutely. I won't get it, but I'll try.
Well, John, thank you. I hate to cut you off, George.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, John.
Something tells me that happens a
I
lot.
keep him in line. It's not
If
a-
I'm sitting here, yes.
it's not so much a script as it is a timeline that we have to be respectful of.
Maybe we'll have
the
you in
people
Friday.
in the waiting room.
Come on.
I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, I'm
you
around.
want it back in on Friday?
I won't be on this Friday.
Where are you going?
I'll be in Hampton.
And Phil's in Spain.
Oh,
Maybe John and I'll do the whole show,
I
myself
had
with
John
Bob.
and
Who's Phil?
invite John.
Who's Phil?
7 a.m.
Phil Kincaid was
7 to 9.
Phil Kincaid was the editor of
I'll come
Foster's
right
Daily.
from the gym. I'll be here.
He was the editor of Foster's
Well,
Daily.
you are on
And then
TV.
he was the editor of the Telegraph, and then the president of the Press Association.
He also moderated our governor's
did not- he's-
debate
you
last
are-
year
he's
for
a
us.
good man.
He's
Well,
going to
John,
stay.
thank you for joining us.
Thanks for
when
doing
we
this,
come
Wendy.
Back,
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you, John. It was yours. Sitting next to you. Well, our third guest today running for Alderman in Nashua's Ward 8 is Dave McLaughlin. Welcome, Dave.
Good morning.
I have not met you before. It's a pleasure.
Dave has the radio voice.
He does.
Dave McLaughlin was on this radio show when we were across the street almost 15 years ago. And I don't think I have not tried. Have I not tried to get you back on since then?
You have.
I have also told you to run for alderman several times again.
You have.
And you kept it. You didn't do it. So, of course, the question is, why are you pulling the trigger now?
The time is right. And by that, I mean I'm aligned with the issues that are on the minds of a majority of the taxpayers in Ward 8. The property tax and spending. Those are the two big ones that keep coming up every door I knock on. And I had a record when I was on the board before of being a fiscal moderate, saying yes to the essentials and no to things that were mere window decor, if you will, and also abiding by the spending cap. And I just feel that for the past 4 years, the current situation at City Hall is quite different than when I was there. Spending is easily passed, contracts are easily approved, bonding is easily supported. The hard questions simply don't get asked anymore. There's no David Dean on the board, for example. And so I think the Board of Aldermen has become more of an echo chamber for the executive branch rather than a check on it. And I have that perspective, and so I want to offer that to the people of Ward 8.
Now, Dave, you worked with Dave before when he was...
Yes. I don't think he was on the board when I was on the board, but yes, I worked with
When
him
was the
then.
last time you were on the board, Dave?
I was there from 2003 to 2009. So
Yeah, I wasn't on the board, but I worked at City. I worked at the city.
Dave was our outstanding city treasurer.
Yes.
Outstanding city
Wow.
treasurer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's the thank you. He doesn't get that anymore.
No.
So, Dave, tell us a little about you. For those of us that don't know your background, and I don't know if you're still actively working or retired. I can never guess anyone's age. I presume you're too young to retire, but if you have
23.
Well, thank
Started
you.
when he was 11.
Thank you. I'm a 25-year resident of Ward 8. When Dave and I were talking earlier this morning, he was blown away by the fact that I'm still in the same place that I was when I first moved here. I work for a national retailer down on Daniel Webster Highway, and I work with customers on a daily basis. So I have the ability to interact with all sorts of personalities. I have the temperament to treat everyone evenly and respectfully, whether I agree or disagree, or whether they agree or not with me. And those are some things that I feel keep me in tune with the pulse of the city, as well as the great experience of going door to door throughout the neighborhoods in Ward 8, where you can't help but learn things, what goes on and what's important. So I've been in this particular race. I find that people are saying, "Hey, it's been a while. Where you been?" But in my time away from the board, I still have kept an eye on City Hall and watched the proceedings, sometimes live on the computer. But otherwise, just keeping track of the issues that keep coming up, and there's a lot of them. And I feel I have something to offer. So hoping that a week from today, a majority of those who make the effort to vote will agree.
And Ward 8 is whereabouts here in the city?
So Ward 8 is the south end of Nashua.
Bicentennial School.
Yeah, the Bicentennial School District area. So the border is Spitbrook Road on the southern side. The highway up till from exit 1 to exit 4 on the east side, and East Dunstable Road on the north. It's that big area. It's half condominium which is mostly the Exit 1 area, and half residential, which is the East Dunstable Road area.
Well, I know you a little bit, and I know you must have been moved tremendously in order to make this decision, because you were going on with life and everything was just fine. You didn't have to do this, you know?
No.
So something definitely...
I feel that elections should have choices. If you go to the ballot box and there's only one name for the position that's up for election, I don't think that's a service to the people who are voting and casting these decisions. They need a choice. I think that's what brings people out, and I feel I'm a viable option, and I'm grateful that I made the decision, because if I hadn't done so, the current Ward 8 Alderman would be unopposed.
So you talked a little about being fiscally conservative. What is the biggest issue right now for you in the city?
It's the spending. I think that it's been said, I'm sure, on this program before, but there's wants and there's needs. There's things that the city has to do and needs to do. Public safety, infrastructure, education, those are the essentials. But there are also the wants, and that's things like the Riverwalk and the footbridge over the river, those kind of window dressing things that are quite expensive. And you have to ask yourself, is that something that when the taxpayers are determining in their own budgets whether they can afford that vacation or trade in their car for a new one, or buy things that they might need, remodel their home, those kind of things. The same sort of thinking should apply to city government. And it's always easier to spend other people's money, but in this case, other people's money is we the people, and it's the people of Ward 8 who are footing that property tax bill, and they've noticed the huge increase that occurred, especially over the last year. And I ask, people that I meet, the city increased its spending by 6% this summer alone. When was the last time you got a 6% raise in your own personal income? And nobody puts their hand up. And so it's a little disproportionate, I think, and we need to slow the spending down.
Let's talk about the other big issue in the city right now, the homeless population. And have you been following that?
Being in the southern end of the city, luckily, we don't have the same concerns in terms of a physical presence of homeless encamped in our ward. But, at the rate things are going, that may not always be the case. So it is an issue that's worth discussing and taking action on. I can't imagine, just this morning it was in the mid-30s? But I was inside. I had my hot cup of coffee. And I feel bad for the folks who don't have that same convenience. If they're out on the street, out in the woods, on a morning like that, it's only going to get colder. And I see the problem is getting more difficult for the city because this topic is beginning to come up more frequently. And I do think that tonight's meeting with the three proposals are, hopefully they will pass, and hopefully they will become valuable tools in managing or trying to address the problem. But I would also think that the discussion could include some communication with the city of Manchester, because if memory serves, up until about last year or so, Manchester was grappling with a sizable homeless problem, and they seem to have made some progress. So reaching out there and picking their brains and saying, what were some of the things you've tried, what worked, what didn't, as Nashua comes to grapple with it here, could be of great value.
I think the Manchester policy, I know Joyce Craig did quite a bit to try to address it and took a lot of heat for it. But I think with the new administration, it was kind of a move along policy, which is what I think contributed to, if I'm wrong, gentlemen, correct me, we absorbed quite a few of the Manchester homeless population in Nashua.
Yeah, they've moved down. Yep. And that's the same thing that's going to happen here. They're just moving them from one spot to the other. And, the ugly part of it is out of sight, out of mind. You know, I mean, like we had Ward 9 on, we have Ward 8 on. Yeah, this isn't really a big concern to the constituents in those wards, you know. So they don't see the problem.
But if their taxes pay for it, it is their problem. It's not. They may not physically see it, but what they're talking about doing, which I'm not taking a position on at all. Although I do have a office on Main Street, so I do see a lot of it, and it is sad. But there's also that budget impact, is what I guess I'm getting at with you.
Dave, being a ward, were you ward alderman at your ward last time? Were you just in the same ward? Okay, so why didn't you run for alderman at large? I'm just questioning. Maybe why didn't you go for that position?
Well, you know, Nashua is quite a spread out place. It's 35 square miles, if I'm correct. There's 9 districts. And so just looking at my own personal resources, I can afford to do a ward race very comfortably. But if I multiply that out by 9, it becomes quite an expense. And I have covered the city from corner to corner for past candidates for at-large or mayor. And I know the geography well, but for me personally, it wasn't the right thing to do at the time.
How did it feel to get back on a campaign?
Sometimes you feel a little rusty, you know, because as an example, we have the hilliest part of the city, in my mind, Browning Ave, Shelley Drive, Bicentennial, Timberline Drive. These are really challenging slopes if you're not in shape. Luckily, I am, so I can do it. But those first few trips up and down there, that'll knock the rust off.
Were the questions from your constituents similar or totally different from the ones when you ran years ago? Are their concerns different?
Aside from the property tax and the spending, I'd say spending was probably a little less on their minds back then because, you know, the city was a different size back then, and the issues were a little different. But the dynamic is the same. There are people in Ward 8 who, you know, they follow the city government. It's not easy. You don't have the telegraph on a daily basis anymore, as an example. So getting information is a little harder. But once you figure out some of the great resources that are there, like this program, as an example, and you start listening.
Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
That's right. This station is a news source, folks. I want to remember that, you know.
It is. I think this program provides a very valuable informational source on all kinds of topics, not just politics. So, you know, can't thank you enough, George, for all the work that you've done.
Everybody that's put their thing. Yeah, absolutely. We are a service to the city, without a doubt. Or else, you know, there's a lot of people that'll be voting this time that don't know who you are, you know, and unfortunately, Dave has said, according to the clerk, city clerk who was in with our show last Friday, we might not get a good turnout, you know.
Well, the fact that this is a non-mayoral year is definitely going to dampen some of the turnout. You know, weather can play into it, you know, that sort of thing. But it's up to us, the candidates, those who want people to participate, to go to those people and let them know that this is happening. And now we're 1 week out. I mean, I've been doing active door-to-door work since the end of August. And, you know, it started with filing 50 signatures for the position. Only 15 are needed to get on the ballot. That was a test for myself to really say, is this something that I needed or wanted to commit to? By having those conversations. That's 50 conversations with people who vote and guaranteed to vote. You need more than 50 to win, obviously. So you spend your time hitting the doors and using social media and networking and doing the things you need to do, getting those signs up, you know, letting people know we need you to come down and make your voice heard.
There wasn't a lot of social media when you ran last time.
No, that's a huge evolution, and I'm not the most tech-savvy guy, but I learn. And I'm surrounded by some guys, especially at work, the younger colleagues that I have the privilege of working with. I mean, they're so tech-savvy, it's amazing. They're showing me how to do the iPads. They're showing me how to do all these different things. And I'm like, how do you even know how to do this?
Well, they're born with it.
Oh my God, it's
You know?
ingrained in their DNA.
Let me give him a shout out for what he does because he's a master tailor as far as I'm concerned at Men's Warehouse in southern New Hampshire. And you can attest that if I clean up, I don't look so bad.
George, yes, you look great.
Wow.
They have quality suits, baby.
We want
Quality.
You, we want you to like the way that you look.
Did I tell you he's got the best voice ever?
I
He's
haven't
got a
seen
great
that guy's commercial
He's
in a
always
while,
had a
though.
nice
Is he not
voice.
your spokesperson anymore?
No, back in 2015 or around then, there was a palace coup at corporate headquarters.
Let's go.
And the young bloods on the board of directors, they basically, if you've been following the Market Basket issue with Mr. Demolis, it's the same thing. You know, two different visions of which way the company should go, and one side won and the other one lost. So unfortunately, we don't get that great.
You'd
presence.
be great. They should use you as the new guy. That'd be fantastic. Well, listen, hopefully this isn't the last time we have you on air regardless. I know how hard I've tried to get you on. I'm glad you've built up whatever you needed to inside to say, I want to run again. I will come on air again, and I will be out there for the public because you're just a great human being that people should spend some time talking to. Honest to goodness, I wouldn't tell you otherwise.
Well, you're very kind.
Dave, you got anything for Dave?
Oh, I haven't seen him in years. It was nice to see him.
Nice to be
How long
seen.
were you on the board? Was it 6 or 8 years?
I was there 6 years.
Now go get your suit from him.
Well, I already talked to him about something like that before.
I mean, you got holidays coming up,
I need other things too. But anyways, yeah, he was.
Wendy,
he was
you
a great
can go get
alderman.
a suit from him too.
A suit? I'm more of a dress kind of gal.
You are. You sure are. That's the first time I've seen you in pants, I think.
It's cold out. It was
Yeah.
37 degrees this morning. Forget it.
Just a little. All right. So thank you, Dave. We're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to come.
But I would like to introduce our fifth guest today is Chris Thibodeau. He is the incumbent running for Board of Alderman in Ward 6. Welcome, Chris. And I got your name right this
You
time.
did. Thank you so
I
much.
had to tell Miss V, as we called her in the last session, that I had sent her 2 incorrect emails. Not only did I send her wrong one, I doubled down and sent her wrong one again. And she's like, I kept sending her in the wrong day. And it was really late at night. In my defense, there were like 35 people I was emailing, and I should have quit, but I was behind.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. That it's like boom. When we spoke over at the library a couple of years ago when you were running.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Right. Yeah, it went big, quick,
Yeah. All right.
really quick.
But you've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. The
Was
job
it-
is not exactly what I thought, and then so that's good.
Is
So
it all? Was it all cracked up to be what it was when you were pie in the sky back a couple of years ago at this
Oh,
time?
absolutely, absolutely. Yep. That's good. Yeah,
But-
it's interesting.
Enough for you to say I want to do it again.
Yeah, I figured I would let the people of Ward 6 decide if I did a good job, and we'll see on Tuesday.
How
What do
many
you think-
years have you been in there?
This is my first term, so 2 years.
Yeah, so
just almost 2 years.
What do you think what are some of your accomplishments that you've done in the last couple of years, even though we know that's a very short time to get anything done at City Hall?
So one of the things I was not aware of is that the biggest responsibility I have is as an advocate for the people with small things throughout the neighborhoods. So some of those things are really what the primary tasks would be for the most part. So people who would need believe a stop sign should be, in their neighborhood, that kind of thing. I helped a woman out on Lund Road who had an issue with a hump in the road that was causing her house to have some shimmies and shakes from a prior construction project. So that I advocated for her, got that addressed. It's taken care of. Reports so far, or that's been taken care of. And then in City Hall, really, it's I just keep trying to push back on the spending as much as humanly possible.
Well, you found out that things aren't just like a snap of the finger like they are on the radio.
Correct. Yep.
So you had to learn how to go about doing it, filing bills. Who do I need to talk to? How do I get things done? Which at this point, you're pretty seasoned. You know where to go, who to talk to, of the people that are in charge of certain things. Which you visit the board directors, correct, of the different parts of the city.
Yeah. Yep. They come to the meetings. I reach out to the director of
Public Works,
administrative
for instance?
services, public works, often.
Are you head of any committees over there?
I am not I don't know if juniors get assigned as
They
head
don't
of any
normally.
committee,
They don't normally get a chair of anything. No,
which is
usually,
good.
though.
because
But are you on any boards?
Oh,
I'm on
yes,
yes,
committees.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on
Committees,
3 committees.
committees,
So I'm on human affairs, finance, and infrastructure. So those are very interesting.
Infrastructure.
Some
That's a
biggies.
busy committee.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one that came forth last week with all of the changes that'll be voted on tonight.
Yes. Yep. So that'll
So
be
you were
interesting.
part of those.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. So that's
How do you think they're going to go tonight?
my gut tells me we're going to be late again. Maybe not 11:30 this time, but I think it's going to be late again. So there's been a couple.
Depends on if the
recommended-
public shows up.
Correct. Yep. That's going to definitely play a factor in it, and they should. If they're concerned, they should definitely show up. The more citizens that show up, the better, in my opinion.
Well, it's tough doing the ward alderman and also do a full-time gig like you do. So it's it's nonstop for you,
Yep.
especially with things that have to happen after hours.
Yeah.
And then like a board meeting like last week, 4 hours and some odd minutes.
Right.
Right. But that just goes to show you when the people when their button gets pushed a certain way, they're going to come up.
Yeah, they do. Yep. It struck the right nerve, and people showed up.
Homeless. What do you think?
I
What's your take
think
on this?
it's,
What would you like to see?
What would I like to see? What I don't want to do is I don't want to give you a politician answer, right? Because it's not an easy fix, and everybody runs as if there's a plan, and there's not. It's a hard problem to fix, and I know I don't have an answer. I'd like to be part of the solution, and again, I'm not 100% sure what that is. So working with some of the departments and Director Bagley, we've got some serious issues with substance abuse that we need to get taken care of. We need to get people to get the help they need to keep them off the streets.
It's the hardest question to answer because there isn't one answer.
Correct.
It's a bunch of stuff that has to make that answer come to pass.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to hear the truth of a thing that hardcore to get some of this stuff done. For instance, you need to build more services.
Yep.
Okay, money. Anytime we say anything that's going to help, it's money. And now we're back to that again.
Right.
So anyone who thinks that they've got the answer, you can, like for instance, you take someone that's just running for office, and I've interviewed thousands of them.
Yeah.
They have, just like me on the radio, I can get things done like this because I'm on air.
Right.
Out in the real side world, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And I can come up with 1,000 ideas to fix this problem down here. But as a guy who's seasoned like you now pause because you know of what it takes to get a thing done. So where you could run 2 years ago at the library and say, this is the things I'd like to do, this is what I'm going to go, you get elected. 2 years later, we're having to interview you about trying to fix the homeless, and you're like, it's not that easy. There's a lot of things that need to take place.
Yeah.
But where do you begin? By just acknowledging these are the things that need to take place? Like, for instance, we need more hospitals or rooming units or things like that.
Right.
And then you're going to get bucked because it's going to cost money we don't have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, very true. My personal opinion is I want to pull on the strength of community. It's at the root of it. That's how government is supposed to work. We have certain inalienable rights, and to protect those rights, government is instituted. That's the job, is to protect your God-given rights. That's the role. The rest falls on the community, and at the smallest level possible. And I think getting more community involvement is going to be paramount in making that happen.
So here's a question, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Why can't we build a new health center the way we built this performing arts center?
Shots fired.
No, not really.
Well,
It's
they
just a-
spent.
it's just
Wait
a
a minute
question.
now. Where Bagley works, you're saying?
No,
Her
I'm
department?
talking. We need another one. We need a big facility to help each individual with their individual problems, and it needs to be big. And I was trying to say, well, didn't they build this without taxpayer money?
Of course not. What are you
How
talking
much?
about?
This building does not cost the taxpayers any money right now.
We pay the bond. Yes, it does cost the taxpayers
According to
money.
Richard Dowd, it does not cost the taxpayers any money.
No.
Oh,
We
I'm just saying.
pay the bond for that.
And the bond gets paid by taxpayers.
Yes.
Okay. So why can't they raise money like they did for something like this here to do the same thing for a bigger health facility for the city? I'm just asking. You said the community needs
But
to
that's
come
not
together.
really the city. That's more of a state issue.
That's where we're at, right there.
You know, the
Well-
city has certain things they have to do, and a state has certain things. You know, that's
So-
more of a state
So
issue. not a
movers and
city issue.
shakers, and I don't think I won't call Maggie Goodlander after this show today. I will, and say, listen, we have such a problem now that it's beyond city fiscally to handle this. We need federal money.
They can't even open up their doors in Congress. What are you talking about?
Well, that's true too right now.
They're all sit. Can you imagine that all these people aren't getting paid?
They are. The
I have a
congressmen
friend
are.
whose son is a Secret Service with the vice president, and he's not getting paid.
So is he still working?
Of course he is.
He'll get it back.
But that's ridiculous.
Well, do you forget? I worked
But
for
anyways,
almost 2.5
I'm
years
going
without
way-
getting paid.
Sorry, I got way off the thing.
I worked for 2.5 years, almost 3, without any pay too. When they told me COVID was going to kill
Oh,
me.
he's got a.
I mean, I know what it's like.
I'm off the record. Sorry.
I'm going to circle this back around
Thank you,
to
I'm
the
sorry.
I'll go at it with him.
So
yeah, we're losing his time.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that I just want to comment that I hear what you're coming from, but let's not discount the wonderful job all of our nonprofits do with this public-private
absolutely.
partnership, which is what is going to resolve this when you say community input.
Yeah.
There's a continuum of care. There's so many nonprofits. I could take a half hour listing all of them. They're mostly chamber members. I'm very proud of all of them and the work they do. But that being said, our numbers with the homeless population, we don't even know the numbers. But I can tell you, as somebody who works on Main Street, it is significantly higher than it's been.
But the numbers you showed out earlier of 75.
Oh, that's way low. And
Oh no, yeah.
That's
That
way
is
low.
just
No,
the-
that was
the-
just that one place.
just
Yeah.
the Pine Street extension is
It's
75.
probably 300 plus.
I don't know. I'm hearing in the twos, but
Well, like I
Yeah.
told you
I
before.
believe it's 268. I believe was the number I got from Director Bagley
Well,
the other day.
you know,
I
Alicia
think
Gregg
that's
is
right.
sitting out in the hallway there, and her ward is right along the river. And I promised her 2 years ago I'd take her for a boat ride because I'm going to tell you right now, there's more than 200 people just along the river. Nobody goes down there. You don't walk along the river like I take my boat down the river. There is cities along the river banks.
Are you-
Cities.
which direction are you talking towards?
From that Hudson Bridge all the way down to Lowell.
Yeah, I was just out there
so
this
from the
weekend
dam.
with the police.
Yeah,
if
from
you
the
go,
dam.
if you, I mean, way down to along the train tracks,
Yep.
there are cities. I mean, cities. Okay, but
currently because they
Yes.
they had cleared them out during
you can't unless you
Pan
get
Am and
unless you
Eversource had cleared them out last year.
Yes, you're right. The train company does its best, but they're so deep. The only way you're going to get to is by boat. You know, and again, if it's out of sight, out of mind. I mean, I know I've seen it. So
Craig-
it's probably much more than that. And again, where your ward is, 6, it doesn't. Those might not be the constituents' issues, really.
No, most people when
Right.
I door knocking, they
What are they
taxes,
talking about?
Taxes, taxes,
But this is going to impact their taxes because something's got to pay for it.
for sure. And to be honest with you, I've even been contemplating what the. I don't know how it would work, but just ballpark big numbers, simple math. You know, if something was going to cost $8 million, divide that by how many taxable properties are in the city, and really the math I was coming up with was $400 to $500 of a gift or community pooling of funds can come up with $8 or $10 million. I mean, it's really pretty simple, and I would say affordable for a lot of people to come up with. All right, if I can contribute $300 to a solution instead of my taxes going up, I see that as a viable, maybe not practical. I need to work some more with some people I've been talking to, but is that an option instead of depending on the federal government or the state when they can't get their act together and they can't agree on how they're going to spend money that has already been allocated, then what do we do? And that's what we're finding a lot of at City Hall is a dependency on federal grants and now that those are getting pulled back, a lot of people are in panic mode, and rightfully so because they had expectations of a thing that would continually be there. So it's tough for sure.
Meet the candidates, Series 3. Wendy Hunt, Chamber of Commerce President. Dave Fredette, County Treasurer. I'm George. Chris Thibodeau's in the studio here this morning. He is the sitting ward alderman of 6 and is rerunning again. Might need an examination, but he wants to do it. You know what I mean? Hey, is there mumblings at our aldermen, which you talk to? You talk to all of them.
Yeah.
You know, are they as curious about the Nung Fu Springs as the rest of the state seems to be, or at least the press is?
I never.
I'd say no. I don't want to speak for them specifically, but I don't believe so. I
I didn't
believe-
think so.
Yeah,
Is that the real name of the place? Or is that some
That's the
makeup
company
thing?
that
that's
bought
the
it.
company that bought it. Yeah,
Anyways, I
Nung
mean,
Springs.
I'm
I
not
wasn't
doing.
sure. I wasn't sure. I never heard it till
Yep,
today.
Nung Fu Springs. Yep.
I'm not that involved in it.
It's because the first 9 times I kept pronouncing it the wrong way.
It's
Yeah.
massive. There are a lot of
The
buildings
building
out
is
there.
well, it used to be Delta Education. That
Right,
building, you
right.
know,
And it's right next to the Y.
It's huge.
on
Well,
North West.
again, there's an answer for homelessness because you guys can just put the title homelessness over whoever wants to do that. But we've really got drug addiction. We have mental illness. We've got people that are down on their luck. It's not just,
Right.
you know, and each person needs to be dealt with individually. And we need a location where they can be vetted and dealt with individually. The places we have right now are maxed. They don't have the facility or the faculty to handle it. We've grown beyond that.
Right.
So we need a new location. Now, you know, the mayor has said on my program to get the state to cut him a check for $20 million so he can buy Daniel Webster College over there that another entity has bought.
Right.
And that might be an answer in the future to turn that into a huge facility with rooms and everything. If because we've had some people on the program that have had ideas. It's not just it's so far out of control we can't fix it.
Right.
Well, there are, but you're going to have to put the work in. You
Yeah.
know, because you can't. If things get voted on the way I will tonight, the police will remove them tomorrow morning. I know that. And where they
Give
going to
them a
go?
window.
Yeah.
Where they going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Move them where?
That's the question.
Out of sight, out of mind, Dave. You know, there's a lot of people that don't care where, just not here. That's their attitude.
There's a lot.
I know that, you know. And if the police, which for the first time in broadcasting for 25 years, I will actually see a local government take the handcuffs off the cops. And I will be very happy to see that, regardless of how they do it. They have been handcuffed for years to do a thing. You know, this is a start. Chief Rourke is a personable human being. He is not hard at all. He cares. It's not going to be like you think he's going in there with a bulldozer. I can tell you right now. They will deal with each individual the way that they can. I just hope that our facilities can handle it. Or which, you know, who's going to be? Is Bobby Bagley down there with her health department going through each individual that they're ready to remove and say, you know, George has got a serious illness. He needs better help than this. I don't have the answer to that.
Right.
But if people just don't get him out of there.
Right.
Well,
Where you going to put him?
there is a lot of communication between all the nonprofits and the homeless shelters, not just in Nashua, but citywide, because some of these people move around and they do seem to have somebody came and spoke to us from the Homeless Coalition 6 months ago, how they do try to track everyone. I think if you checked in with a soup kitchen or with a homeless shelter, they've got you tracked.
Sure.
It's the ones that have not gone for services that we may not know who they are. And I think that was the difference that in talking to the police was we used to know who our homeless were, and now we have people that we don't know who they are, where they're from.
So the other side is this. With the money we have in general funds, and I'm a little bit, you know, I know what they have and what they do. Can't we take care of 300 people? I'm just asking. Can we take care of
If you
300
take
people?
care of 300 people, you'll have 300 more people coming.
I don't know that.
Oh.
No, you don't know that. But I'm just saying, can't you just do that right now? Maybe find a place to put them up for the winter or whatnot. Something like that. There.
Those are good questions.
You would think that as a human being, as we are, and I am on my program outside of this all the time, having to deal with this stuff all the time. Your job as a human is to take care of another human.
Agreed.
You know, not everybody's as fortunate as somebody else is. I know there are people that do things that don't even want to know that they do these things. Well, we're at the point right now where we don't want to scoop them up, and someone's got to get up to the plate and take care of. If each person, family, took care of one person, this would be done. I mean, that's just another alternative instead of give me money, build this, get that. You know, There are cities, like there's other aldermen and all that have acquaintances in other cities that are dealing with this, and they will bring forth it to the city if they get elected on how they're dealing with it. But do you know, I've gone down myself. I've met quite a few individuals, and I've given them jobs. And I give you one small example when we were doing some filming over here at the library. And because I have a lift, I have to get there very early before traffic gets in. 'Cause I have a huge trailer, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went over it under the tree and woke two of these guys up. I said, "Hey, help me unload this thing." Okay, and I gave them $25 each. And you know what they said to me? "You got more work?" That's what they said. "You got more work for me to do?" I said, "That's all I got, buddy. I got to get out of here." But I'm just saying, they will work. They don't, any human being, unless we've got a problem up here. And that's why they're all grouped together, loves the feeling of being paid to do a thing. Some of them are so hard down on their luck they can't get out of it. But some of us should give people a chance. Mow a grass, stack some wood, do a thing, But we have to take care of them on a city level to make sure that they're not sleeping on the doorstep in 20-degree weather.
Agreed.
There's just other ways to look at it, You're not going to fix it overnight.
Right.
Dave McLaughlin was in earlier. He was an alderman. You were an alderman in '85.
No, I lost in '85.
He was a young buck back then.
When were you an alderman?
91.
Did they have a homeless problem in Nashua?
Well, they always had but very small.
Okay, well then,
Very
my
small.
point is it took this long to get here. It might take that long or half the time to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Can't keep passing the buck, and we need more money. We need more money. We need more money. Each individual has to do a thing. I feel bad for them. I really do, because a lot of them don't. A lot of them have mental issues that need doctors.
Yeah.
What time's the meeting start tonight? 7:30.
7:30 tonight.
So I think
7:30.
it's late.
World Series game tonight?
Yeah.
Is there a game tonight too? So those guys play till 3 in the morning. They got to play this afternoon.
I don't think so, because then they
We're
just play
California
twice.
time.
Yeah, they do.
They just play twice in a row, so usually they get a day off,
I
don't
would
they?
think so. Well,
Chris,
we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
I wish more people could meet you.
I know.
Well, I'm doing the foot traffic and trying to get out there. So
How are the people doing off of Lund Road? You know what I mean? The Archery Lane and that section.
yeah,
Is everything? I know you worked hard on that.
it's quiet. What Dave's speaking of, I don't know how much time we had.
No, I don't think we have a lot,
all right.
unfortunately,
So-
right? I don't know. Oh,
But-
do we?
But they're doing well.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in contact with the guy that kind of ran it there? That was trying to. I think he was a teacher or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I email him. We're not regularly,
But, yeah.
but I drive through the neighborhood every couple months. I've asked a couple of the neighbors how things are going, and things are going well.
I see Patty all the time.
Yeah.
Take us out.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, chamber members, large and small. But going back to the medical field, that they can find people to hire, but they cannot find housing to buy at
Yes.
all levels, from a housekeeper all the way up to a
Exactly.
surgeon. They cannot find housing, and they lose them to Massachusetts or lose
Exactly.
them to other areas that have housing in general. And that's just any cost of housing. But when you throw in that affordable piece, something, yes, that
There
just
is
the way
that-
the rents.
that
There's no
word-
way to predict how your rent is.
There
gonna
is
go
no
up.
such thing as
Exactly.
affordable.
Well, and affordable depends on who you are. I
Yes.
mean, I think we've got to call it what it is. It's really income based. Most of
Yeah.
us do everything, quote, based on our income. So
Right.
why
So we
we're
got our
afraid to say
mortgages
that.
or
But the-
can qualify for rent.
the
Exactly.
real estate market in itself, which is a rigged system, I've told you this before, is the one that's causing these prices to go through the roof. Okay, it's almost like it's a futures on Wall Street. That's what's happening with them. They're way overblown.
Well, it's a-
Absolutely.
it's a seller's
so,
market.
So the city can't. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Someone's got to step into the real estate market and say that's it. Stop right now for a couple of years.
But the taxes, though.
Well, I mean, look at the values of the homes.
Well,
Well, if
The taxes are based on expenses, not
Right,
pricing.
but-
yeah, I wish our taxes though were actually based on, especially property taxes. I do not believe it's fair for someone who owns a home, say valued at $350,000, to be paying the same tax rate as someone whose home might be valued at $3 million. I think the tax rate for homes should be based on the value.
Yeah,
of
why
the
why
home.
is that, Dave?
Oh yeah. Oh, Dave, is he the
Well,
one with the answer?
he's
He's
gonna
a county,
huff. He's
county
gonna huff.
treasurer.
If your tax bill is rate, and value. So someone who's got a few $1 million home is paying a lot more taxes than someone who's got a $300,000 home.
Well, let me float something to you though. In St. Petersburg,
Of course it is.
So hold on.
That's
I wanna-
simple math.
As a
Another
potential
investigation.
alderman,
Yes.
well, so in St. Petersburg years ago, where I grew up, in the early 90s, after the dot-com boom, we had a
yeah.
lot of people move in and buy up property.
Yes.
And they instituted, I don't know if it was a regulation that was called Save Our Taxes, where your house, like my parents, when they died, had been in their house 65 years. They could not be revalued more than 3% each time there was an assessment because they were the owners for a long time. Now, when the person bought their house, they stepped up that
What
basis.
state did they
Oh
live in?
wow.
Florida.
Oh wow.
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Well, they have
And-
a sales tax in Florida.
Right.
We
Well,
don't have that.
Yeah.
That's what you
Correct.
need to do. If the people want to change it, they have to do something, raise up money other ways. And we don't have sales.
But
tax.
that's the way my parents and all
we
of
don't
their
have an
friends
income
stayed in
tax.
their homes
Right.
is they were able to, be able to plan for their tax bill.
Well, some of the
Sure.
conversations I'm having with individuals Dave just spoke to. I mean, the fact that we choose to live here in New Hampshire, live free or die, baby. We don't have a sales tax. We don't have an income tax. We do have fees, but we need to figure out a way to pay for essential services and needs without it falling on, quote, the backs of those who own property, or without it falling on, on individuals for renters, because when we're reaching some sort of, there needs to be a paradigm shift.
How long have you lived in Nashua?
I've lived here only since about 2013, so I'm a newbie.
This has been an argument
I've
or
heard,
discussion
yes.
forever.
I'm sure. Well, I was more wanting the historical part of that.
Forever.
We do also get rooms and meals taxes, but I don't know how much actually filters down to the,
It's
Prior
not
to
enough,
prior to 1999, the state didn't give a penny for schools.
which is something else, because
Now they changed that, but it's still nothing, hardly.
well,
what they get you.
and people feel like, if property taxes are actually going to help pay for our schools should be funded. And our schools are not funded at the rate that we are taxing individuals.
After 1999 with the schools, what had happened was they created this lottery system with the money coming in from the lottery that was
No,
supposed
no,
to...
no, no.
Oh,
Lotteries
no.
were before that. They came in with that tax for. I know. I was there.
Okay.
99. That's the first
Well, where's
year.
that money?
Where's the money, Dave?
Oh, they get money now, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. Well,
They get
what
money
can we
now.
do, Dave? You and I can work together. You're Ward 6, I'm
They're
Ward
making
6.
millions of dollars from these casinos. Where's that money going?
Well, I mean,
It's going to nonprofits, and then the rest stays with the company.
Percentage.
well, about 35%
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
state is going to nonprofits. So that is definitely happening. And, I'm kind of grateful that that's happening for some of our nonprofits that are out there. But for the average taxpayer, the average homeowner, the average renter, they are not benefiting
No,
from that.
absolutely not.
And so we need to challenge ourselves and challenge our leadership. I'm not a politician. I'm an educator. I'm a researcher. I'm a fundraiser. I believe in following the dollars and counting the money and making the best financial decisions. That's why I'm running. And we need to challenge those individuals in leadership to do the same. We can't keep looking at a problem thinking, well, maybe it'll go away. Or we don't want to talk about the fact we don't have a sales tax or an income tax or any other way to bring in income. This is a conversation we have to have, not just for now, but for the future. I feel like, with some more Jergens and Ponds, I'll find it. I'll live another 300 years, maybe. I would like to see the future for Nashua that is inclusive of all of our residents, and that housing and things of this nature are income based. I don't want to say affordable, because what's affordable on Monday may not be affordable on Friday. But if it's based on your income, that's going to be a lot more equitable. And yes, I did say the word equitable, just in case there's someone listening on the DEI police. And yes, I am an African American female. You know where I live. I know who you are too. Anyway, just wanting to put that out
Are you
there. So,
concerned about that?
I
Oh,
shouldn't be.
come
But
on.
I'm knocking on a lot of doors, and there are people who open up the door and they go, "Oh my God, you're black," and I'm like, "Really? When
They
did
don't
this
say
happen?"
that.
Oh, you don't want to know. You don't
I
want
do.
to know. But yeah, so there are some people who've been surprised by my natural tan.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
But,
not
but,
sure.
but,
It's
but
the
despite
red
that,
lipstick that
I'm
does it
hoping
for you.
I'm hoping that they will just like really listen, and so that's
Well,
what's
I
happening.
mean-
They're finding out that I may have like actually gone to kindergarten. I ate my graham crackers, drank my milk, and learned to write my
You were the
letters.
one that used those scissors.
No, it wasn't me. But I'm looking for that kid. But
got a sense of humor.
I did my homework, and I was sitting on the sofa one day. I could be watching Netflix and eating popcorn and drinking champagne like everybody else. That's what
Sounds
we
good
all
right
wanna
now.
do. Yeah, that's what we want to do.
Do you do
but
that thing?
I was like, no champagne for you?
No.
No, mimosa with pear juice even. I don't know. I could change your mind.
Listen, she's got a great personality.
But what we have to do
She's not
is
shy.
to listen. No,
She
no,
was
we
when she
gotta-
first came
We gotta
on.
listen to our
first time she
citizens
was.
and force them to hold our leaders accountable. That's what I learned in junior achievement. That the leadership, the government, is supposed to work for the people. So I'm getting up off my sofa to work for the people in Ward 6. And my seniors who are concerned about being taxed out of their home, they want some information. And I want to ask the right questions. So I want to, like I said, follow the money, get on the right committees, fiscal accountability. There's certain things that we might be spending money on that might be important to some. We might need to reprioritize this. And Dave might know this better than I do. I mean, the infrastructure, we can't have the city crumbling. That's his piece. We've all seen a few sidewalks that could use a curb or two.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've got to take care of the residents. Otherwise, we won't have anyone here, to love the city as much as we all do.
Well, usually most people are exhausted after listening to me, but after you just took like anytime you want to come in here,
Okay.
and sit here,
Right. Okay.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. No. Well, if you
There's only a few people that could have a talent to do that.
I follow the free coffee.
You got it. I will provide that with you 24/7,
Thank you.
Miss Smith.
All righty.
Well, I was
Well,
gonna-
thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
I know, and I have to say I'm embarrassed because I was when I sent her the invitation for this, I not only gifted
She didn't want me
once,
to come. She
I
didn't want me
gifted
to show
twice,
up.
and I'm like, well, how embarrassing. I go, apparently I multitask. Sometimes when you multitask, and
Yes.
then I'm like, I feel
She's
like
got strong shoulders, though, and a sense of
I
humor.
know.
Which the other thing is
So-
a sense of humor. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can we bring
Right.
it back a bit?
Oh, yes.
hopefully I
It's okay
redeem
to laugh.
myself because she's probably like, who in the
Oh,
heck is this
no,
person
no,
that
no,
can't
this
get an
is-
email right?
No,
And
well, I
that-
got to get more involved with the
She's
That
old
was
school.
me.
She's
That
old
was
school.
me.
She's
Yes.
old school. She can joke. She can
Yes.
tease. She can go back and forth, and she can get serious if she needs to be.
There you are.
We need more of that.
yeah. But it was so nice meeting you.
It's a pleasure.
Up
Go ahead,
next-
say her name.
oh my gosh.
Yep.
Akuma Matata.
A couple weeks ago, there was an appetite, at least from some, just to push it through without a second reading and going to committee. And I think that does it a real disservice. And so I would expect more spirited discussion tonight. It's I won't lie and say I'm looking forward to tonight's meeting. It's a heavy topic. It can be really upsetting to sit there and listen to and have to really debate on the next step in people's lives. And that's really what this is.
You didn't think about that when you ran 2 years ago, huh?
I don't think anybody does. You see the regular business of the board. Taxes, budgets, finances, projects. You don't really think this far into it, and it's kind of interesting that it's coming at the very end of my first term. But it is really probably the heaviest thing that we've tackled
Sure.
so far in the past 2 years.
By the way, kids, they will play this afternoon, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. There is a game today. Yes, 5
Wow.
o'clock L.A. time, 8 p.m. our time. After 18 innings last night, got done at 3 in the morning. I mean, you something must have been left over that you might not have felt like you accomplished because you wanted to actually run again. What might that have been? Why would you have said, hey, you know what, I'm going to do it again?
In terms of actually running again for Ward 7 specifically, it's a lot of it is addressing things that maybe people have just been sitting on or maybe haven't been fully addressed. A big concern in Crown Hill in particular, which is the section of the ward that I live in, is safety. We're a very densely populated neighborhood. We share borders with the downtown and in particular the medical facility down here. And, people are real concerned about the safety. It's a pass-through neighborhood, so people are driving through to get where they need to go. Speeding, pedestrian safety, and So recently, at least, those are the things that I've been trying to tackle, and we've made some headway in the past couple months. But there's more to be done, and there's more concerns that people are going to bring to the forefront, and I want to be able to be there to address them for them.
You also know how things work now a bit, you know.
Oh, for sure, it can be frustratingly slow.
What's frustratingly slow?
I know, government, the hell you say, right?
Well, I was surprised at how slow they work. For
Yeah.
sure.
Something simple as we just got done a couple of stop signs for some residents who had been asking
Yes.
for them. It felt like months because we got to go through the process. For my part, I got to really make the case before we even get to prime time to the Department of Public Works, because if you don't have the Department of Public Works support on something like that, on a simple infrastructure change, it's going to go nowhere in the chamber. They're the experts in their fields.
Yeah, well, so with the process that Mr. Senate's talking about, so I can enlighten everybody that does not have a clue, is Attorney Bolton. There's your holdup. Period.
No.
I am telling you now, most of the stuff that does not get passed over there is because of the attorneys inside City Hall.
I won't throw Attorney Bolton under the.
You don't have to. He does a great job,
No,
but
he is right that the Division of Public Works is responsible for streets, sidewalks, that kind of stuff. It has to go through them.
it does, but they're not going to the city. And I have the mayor on every Thursday, and I told him straight up, there's not a thing that gets done in City Hall without City Hall thinking about how are we going to be liable for anything first. And they are backloaded with stuff. So it takes a long time. Why do you think it's taken 3 plus 4 years I've been on the air? We've been talking about this homeless thing. Take the handcuffs off the cops, I've been saying. You can't. They couldn't. So look where we're at. It's taken 4 years because of legal mumbo jumbo that you can't just pick up a person on the street, even if it's 20 degrees. Dave, I know. That's what I tell everybody that's running for. I want to run for mayor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. He said, you're going to do nothing. You're going to go in there, and you're going to have your wine, champagne. Thank all your supporters, and 6 attorneys will take you in the basement of City Hall and go, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you can't do.
I never got any wine and champagne. I'm almost a little disappointed.
You're not a mayor. They don't get that at the ward. You got to move on. We got to wait a little while before you move on up 10. You'll get that. You got a good pop from Alicia today, though.
Like I said, that was very kind.
She
of
said, I'm
Alicia.
not going to run because we have a competent alderman in our ward.
You couldn't ask for a better endorsement than that from whether it's a state rep or a resident.
But like Chris, I met you guys in the library a couple of years ago and remember some of the stuff. I could replay those live things we put on public television for things that you said that you'd like to be part of and stuff. But boy, what a learning experience it's been since you got elected.
It sure is, yeah. Anybody out there that's listening that's thinking about running, don't ever let anybody talk you into the fact that it's 2 meetings a month. You're going to be making sacrifices.
Now, do you have a regular job?
I sure do.
And what is it that you do?
I work in accounting for a manufacturer up in Bedford.
Okay.
Yep. And just like everybody else, I've got a wife, I've got a young kid. Obligations at home that need to be met too. So you got to get their buy-in before anything because you are going to be making sacrifices.
Have you put forth any bills or paperwork besides a stop sign?
Oh, I sure have. Yeah, the one I'm absolutely most proud of. Alicia talked about it earlier in her session just a couple moments ago. We had an asphalt plant proposed for Ward 7 a couple of years ago, and it ran through the process for a couple of years. The long story short is that eventually they did take the city to court.
I remember that.
They eventually dropped the lawsuit because the organization came under the auspice of another group that bought them out. And once that lawsuit was dropped, I went to our planning department, and I said, I want to prevent this from happening again. And what we did is we made changes to the land use code in the general industrial zone when it's overlain by a transit-oriented development that prevented those heaviest manufacturing uses, chemical processing, tanneries, paint manufacturing, asphalt manufacturing. Those will not be allowed when that overlay exists now.
In city limits?
Not within the city limits, in a general industrial zone that's overlain by a transit-oriented development, which is a unique situation.
Trains,
to that.
buses?
Correct.
Wow. Good job.
So we were able to put a stop to that. The manufacturing uses that currently exist there are not affected. They're able, because I had said in my presentations to the planning board when I was just a resident that, the idea isn't to kick this organization out of town. We just want good commercial neighbors within the neighborhood, and we want the neighborhood's characteristic to reflect what it is today. And at the time, it was 2023. Now it's 25.
And they couldn't probably find a way to make everybody happy, so they packed up and left town.
No, they're still there.
But what are they doing with the project they wanted to do?
To the best of my knowledge, they still operate their production down in Westford, Massachusetts.
Okay.
They're right off the highway by the quarry there. And then, as far as I understand, this is primarily administration, storage, and dispatch for them.
Excuse me. Did you see the article the other day? Now, there was a Dave Fredette, because he's been on my show for years, and we talk about everything that's going on in this state and beyond. But anyway, I told you about that Target distribution center over there.
In Hudson.
They mothballed it till 2029.
Wait a minute, I thought it was under construction.
Mothballed it. No more construction.
Target?
Yes.
You know why?
Because they just put an article out on
You know
Monday.
why?
They have laid off thousands
Yes.
of people and this. But
They're having trouble.
there's the problem, as I told you, what a disaster this whole thing
Yeah.
was. So
didn't
what does Continental Paving do now? Leave all their equipment in the street with the streets torn to shreds over there?
God.
This is a disaster. And according to the selectmen over in Hudson, Target owed them $2 million, which they have not paid. It's a disaster. I told you it was coming.
I didn't
All right,
hear
just came
that.
out yesterday. Anyway, we're glad we don't have that type of stuff going on in Nashua, because I'll tell you, that is a behemoth of a job, and has disrupted the public beyond what you could possibly imagine right now, because I live there and I have to go through it.
I have a question for the Alderman.
Yeah, Tim Sinnott.
What's going on with Henry, whatever, Hager?
The
Is
Henry
that-
Hanger building, yeah.
Are they ready to open up those apartments or what?
From what I can see passing by,
Yeah.
it looks like there's still construction going on.
It's the longest project I've ever seen in
Well,
Nashua.
how long did that building sit?
I know.
You know,
Wow.
and especially a building of that age.
So they're not open yet for apartments.
Not yet, but they are advertising. They have a website up. They have
And they have enough parking for all those units.
that I can't say for certain.
I don't
doesn't-
don't see it myself.
It doesn't look
I'm not
like
an
it,
expert.
but to the I don't know how far their purview expands behind the building in regard to because they border right there with the Corvo
Yeah,
root beer, which has
yeah.
been just kind of sitting vacant for a while
Empty,
as
yes.
well. Yeah, so
How about the other new apartment building they're building right there?
the one across the street
Yeah.
behind the diner.
Oh my Lord!
The last I'd heard on that, and I'm not a big fan of this, but last I'd heard is they had gone to the planning board again for an extension. They have their approval. They're approved for development. From what I understand, they wish to sell that as developable land,
Oh, I see.
which seems to be a new thing with a lot of developers who own just untouched land.
Yeah.
Is they go before the local planning board, they get their approvals that they
Right.
need, and then they put up a sign that says "for
That's-
sale approved."
That's not new. I know lots of people who've
Yeah,
done
we
that.
we have at least 2 of those in the ward
Yeah.
right now. We have another right by right over off of Dearborn Street and
Dearborn. That's right.
oh, not
Tyler?
Otterson.
Audison. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right on the corner, that vacant lot that's been sitting there for years by Massey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know
It
somebody
used to
who,
be the pub
I know
brewery.
someone who lives on that street.
I
I've heard
know
a lot
exactly
about
who
it.
you're talking about, and
She's well
you know,
known.
same concerns that she had.
Yeah, I've
you
heard
know.
that. Yeah.
And that got approved by the planning board, and then within a week, the sign was up for sale with the rendering of the building they want
Really?
to build. Yeah.
That type of stuff's been going on for ages in other places as well, though.
And I know they're going to build all those new apartments on. I'm sorry.
We need to get a city map in here, George.
It's,
we can
it's
point.
Nashua
They have a
Housing.
great one on the website.
Nashua Housing. You know
Oh,
that-
Burke
that-
Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know a lot of people who live on that street. And as
the
you
Maynard
probably
Homes.
heard, there's some people very, very not happy at
Yeah,
all.
there are folks that are unhappy about
They
the
claim there's
the plan.
water issues. I don't know. You know.
Throughout that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, Crown Hill is very old, and it
I
has
know.
very old infrastructure.
Are you from Nashua?
Not originally,
Okay.
but I've been here for over 30 years.
Okay, so that makes you.
Well,
it's like
not
me.
really.
I got grandfathered in.
I was going to say not
Right.
really, but
It's
basically.
got to be 100 years. If you weren't born here, you got to have.
Otherwise, you're a blow-in.
Tim
Even 30 years.
Tim will be the Ward 7 alderman because no one's running against him
Correct.
unless somebody put a write in.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of one yet, but
No.
it has
Can't do
happened
that.
in Ward 7. So
Wow.
It's a like a ward like Ward 6, very old, a lot of older homes and stuff, but nice.
very diverse too,
Quiet.
because we have newer neighborhoods as you head south. We have Crown Hill, which is significantly older,
Yeah,
and then you
that's
get into
what I'm
the
talking about.
south of the Country Club, the South Main neighborhood, and then of course
Oh,
we
yes.
have the whole DW
Oh
corridor.
yes, I forgot. You have the Watch neighborhood, the clocks or whatever they are. Isn't
We
that
have the
your,
we have the state streets.
yeah. Oh,
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, not that you still need the support, and I think only watching an interview with you a couple of years ago at the library, I really haven't had much interaction with you, and you're very well spoken. You can definitely tell you're educated, and I think more people should get the chance to talk to you. Which I would like to bring you back on the program outside of this nonsense, so we can do my regular show with you because you're an interesting guy.
Well, most weeks I've heard you mention Friday a couple times.
Yeah,
this
Fridays are
morning.
great because
I have every other Friday off.
Have you got that?
so
All
like
right.
BAE.
Yes, I work the 980 schedule, very similar
You
to
could
what they
take
have.
that off Friday. And that would give me a break from going on every Friday.
We'll have to coordinate.
Then we have to rebuild. He'd have to get a new fan. It took me years to build your fan base. You have fans now. If he's
Yeah,
not
that's
here, I
true.
get emails. I get, where's Dave?
That's true.
Anyway,
That's true.
He said the villages.
oh, we do that. I play that ad for him when he comes in. The village.
He used to all the time.
Yeah, I don't do
Yeah,
it.
he doesn't do it anymore.
Tim, thank you.
Oh, thank
Appreciate
you guys for
your
having me.
concern and
seeing you.
passion for the city. We will be watching tonight's, and Paul G. Bergeron does the news for WSMN. We'll also be watching that, and he'll write his news stories, which will play all morning tomorrow. And if you can go to the chambers, you can watch it yourself or watch it on government education television tonight, because I believe a few of them are going to pass tonight.
I think that's the case.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's the fix all, but
And it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
what would you have liked to have done?
I would just like a place for people to go.
They don't have one.
Exactly.
So what would you rather do? Leave them to where they're at right now till you find a place, or what? I mean,
I
it's
think-
not an easy answer, Tim.
No,
I'm not,
no,
I'm not
you're-
putting you in the corner. I know it's not an easy answer.
No, and you can't help but feel cornered by any of the questions related to this. But my big concern when I look at what we have in front of us tonight, at least the big one, is that we're kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Yes.
It's almost it's creating a law that's next to impossible to adhere to. Well, you can't be here, but you have nowhere else to go. So
It's ugly
you're
business.
just there was a headline in the Manchester Inklink, if I could real quick, that I brought up last week, which was probably the least surprising headline I've read in my adult life. It was written 4 months after Manchester passed the same ordinance.
Yeah.
And it said it's something to the matter of homeless residents popping up elsewhere in the city following passage of camping ban.
Duh.
Exactly. That's what I said. Surprise.
And you know what? They're also down here.
Of course.
I know.
Yep.
Oh,
They
that's
the
interesting.
the anecdote I'd heard from Manchester is that everybody just moved 2 to 3 blocks outward.
And that, you know what? I know, Tim. I'm sorry. That's almost going to be the same thing here.
Of course it is.
I'm sorry. There's no
Nobody's
answer.
got a crystal ball, but that's
And if
a pretty
you know,
easy
but
one.
you want to know what? From the public standpoint, let's think about them too. Out of sight, out of mind to them. I know it's a sad thing to say, but that's what a lot of them feel.
Until they're not.
I know. Until now, we move them over here.
Exactly.
All right. Wendy,
Well, thank you, George the Magnificent. And I just made that up.
did you hear that, Dave? Did you hear
and
that,
the
Dave?
Nashua Chamber of
heard it.
Commerce.
Did you hear that, Dave?
Tired.
Well, no, I took my glasses off, so now I'm off script because I can't see you guys and have my reading glasses. So
Oh,
the rest of the day is just going to be a crapshoot.
That's
We'll
fine.
just call it what it is.
You don't need to look at him anyway.
In the studio with us, besides our guest, Alicia Gregg, who is running for alderman at large, and she's a state rep, among many other things. We have Dave Fredette, who is a county treasurer.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the tax man.
We are-
Even in Florida, I think at the
Hillsborough
club, right?
County.
Yeah, Hillsborough County.
They got Hillsborough County in Florida is gigantic.
Oh yeah, I'm from
Yeah, he can
Pinellas
throw
County
that around down
and
there.
practice law in
Are
Hillsborough
you
County.
the county treasurer down there too?
No.
No, but he might sometimes
When
pretend.
I go down there, I always bring my little thing, say, Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
Then
yeah,
I realize
isn't that weird?
it's
that
New
I moved
Hampshire.
from one.
If
I
you
moved
listen-
from Hillsborough County to
It's
Hillsborough County.
Oh, what's the big city that's
Tampa.
Tampa's Hillsborough County.
If you listen to my show on Fridays, Dave's a freaking guest for almost 4 years now, maybe 5. But
you
he
still
has
considered a guest?
aspirations to be the mayor of the Villages.
Hey,
They
don't
don't have a
knock
mayor,
it.
but
And he's got
Do
his own.
not knock it.
He's got his own
You
golf
could
cart.
be the first.
Like 95,000 people in the village.
He's got his own golf cart down there.
it says Hillsborough County.
Don't tell me.
Treasurer.
I got pictures of him with shorts and white socks on and sneakers.
You got a
the
place in
whole
the
nine.
villages?
He's got.
I
fa-
go to the
He's
Villages,
got a
but
bumper
I don't have a
sticker that
place
says
in it.
treasurer.
Why don't you listen to the show on Fridays? You'll get more about Dave. Do you know he's got an AI girlfriend? Well, that's a whole other story.
Ow. Stop this now.
Okay.
This is serious.
I'm
stuff.
sorry. You got-
Excuse me.
I don't
This
know
is
how
the
your morning's
candidate
been going
series.
so far, but this is getting
Yeah.
entertaining
We've
now.
been off track.
You know
all
what the
day.
problem is
Him and his
because
friends are-
first of all, Alicia hosts a show for a couple of years now, maybe more than that, on 7 o'clock on Mondays. She's been a frequent guest on ours and become part of the family. So I can feel
We're
a little
very
more
comfortable with her.
Yeah,
Yes.
as you can tell. She's been on Fridays with you.
Yes,
Oh yes, she
I
has.
have, and I remember the first time I ever met Dave, and he gave me that stank face, and he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, you're a Democrat."
Yes, he did.
he did.
Yes, he-
Excuse
you
me?
did.
Yes, he did.
I am very
He gave me a
nonpartisan.
stank face, but I've won you over, I think.
How can you not? Alicia is a good human being. Period. I don't care what her affiliation is.
Well, her last name is Greg, so of course I
Yeah, you assumed.
assumed.
Yeah, well, that's the
But you
wrong.
know what
Ass,
happens.
you, me. Remember that back in school?
Yes, I know.
Oh, yes.
They don't do that anymore, right?
They don't say that.
They get
anymore,
outlawed
but
now?
Yeah, you can't assume things.
They did that in your grade school too, right? Yeah.
They did that in mine.
All right. Well, anyway, she's running for alderman at large, and she's not an alderman now, but she is a house rep.
Yes.
And of course, that's a busy position to be in up there. And it has to ask you while you're on this program is, what was the motive to want to be alderman at large in the city? You could have ran for a ward alderman in your ward.
Well, I could have. We actually have an amazing alderman in our ward, Tim Sennett. So I think he's on after me. And so that position was taken. But also, so when I became a state rep, I started dealing with more city questions than I actually did state. But I also started to understand our state is very unique, how we fund things, how we don't fund things, and what falls on the city. And so as I started to understand more about that, I was able to have more conversations with people, and I answer more questions about the city than I actually do the state. And so I ended up with a lot of different questions. But one, when Monahan Manor opened up, I used to be coach soccer. They have that great green space in the middle of it. And I was like, oh, this is a great place to play soccer. And so I started talking to residents, giving out my card because they were like, oh, can you talk at other times? And sure. Well, there were some big issues there. I couldn't get answers. And I usually call and I don't say I'm a state rep. I just say, I'm asking questions. Just kept hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And I thought, okay, this is not good. Because I finally then started saying, I'm Representative Alicia Gregg, thinking, well, I don't want to bring that up, but maybe I can get more answers. Nope, nothing. And I thought, okay, this is probably an oversight, but if somebody who's an elected official can't get answers, how can Nashua get answers? And so, you see a lot of things happening in the city, people complaining about they didn't know about things, they weren't told about things, they weren't consulted. I think that's happening. And I think that especially in a state like New Hampshire, where we have government that's supposed to be so accessible, something is getting missed here. We're doing something wrong, and we can make it better for our citizens. Nashua should not feel like there's this huge divide between their government and their people. It should really be more cohesive. So I really wanted to kind of bring my style of doing things into that, because I don't care what, when I ran for office, it wasn't like I ran for office to only represent people who were going to vote for me. I ran for office, period. And being a Greg and, coming from a family who has historically been Republican in this city and in this state, I made that commitment that when I even brought forth legislation, it would never be something that was not bipartisan. That I represent everybody in my district, not just, people who vote for me. And so that's really been my commitment. That particular style of doing things is really better served in the city where we have nonpartisan, where we really do, work down that middle. And so that's why I decided to come to the city. I think that's, a better, a good fit for me.
Alderman at large is a big job with the 9 wards.
It's a big job and very different wards. It's like different little cities. You know, we have like these micro cities within the city. I, of course, represent Ward 7 right now. We have housing authority there. We have different, I know that you just had on, who was it that, is it McLaughlin or whatever that wants to represent 8? And he was talking, we don't really have a problem with, the homeless there. And every single area has very different situations, and then you also have the downtown area. You have, for me in Ward 7, we go all the way down to Pheasant Lane Mall. So we have a lot of commercial things and stuff, but it's massive. Our city is really, really big. And I think that we get kind of hyper-focused on certain areas, but it is great knocking on doors and talking to people from all over the city and how different things are.
So what are one of the first things that you're going to work on if you get elected?
Communication. I think without communication, everything else is broken.
Other than Facebook and all
totally other than
it's awful.
You
when
can't
you see the fighting on the Facebook.
It's a
and you're like,
cesspool. Well, and people have really become empowered to be bullies on Facebook. Like things that I see people saying, I'm like, you do not talk to me that way when I see you in person.
and
Like
the misinformation, and I think even bigger than that, the
misinformation,
misinformation, and then it's like kicking a hornet's nest of when you have the misinformation.
I don't go on Facebook at all.
It's like
I hear about these.
It's
how
like
nasty it is.
It is, and it's like the National Enquirer. Remember, you used to go to the grocery store, you'd see like Frog Boy, born to Rat Woman, but now they're using that like full on news on Facebook.
Right.
Like it's
And
no
it's-
longer the trash magazine that you see that you kind of laugh at and that's funny. Oh no, it's like this is fact and this is where it is, and that's a problem. But I think that, I love the thing that the mayor does where he has his different ward, listening things or coffee things. I think more of our elected officials should be doing something like that. We've got to invest in communication in this city. Without a paper, we're falling behind. I could see that whenever we had so when I first ran for office, they were talking about putting that asphalt plant in over here. And I didn't know about it. Joanne St. John brought it to me, and I was shocked because I hadn't heard anything about it, and it's right there in my ward. I started knocking on doors in that area. Forget, my list or walk list or anything. I just started knocking every single door. Nobody knew because I was just shocked, and it was coming right there. And how do you tell people? If they're not checking online, how do you tell people? I started putting flyers up everywhere, and I might not have all the answers just yet because we need to see about funding. How can we do certain things? But we have got to make communication a priority in this city.
Alicia Gregg in the studio. Wendy Hunt, Chamber of Commerce President. Dave Fredette. It is Meet the Kid, and it's Series 3. Wendy and I won't see each other again until next August.
I see you all the time, George. You keep saying that.
We've done a lot. We've done all the Board of Education. We've done the first part of all of them. You couldn't make the first one, right?
She
I
was
could not. I was up in
doing her
Concord.
doing her state
Yeah,
gig.
I was doing my job.
Well, when we get done with Tim, I want to go over some of the names that we could not get a hold of. They also need to be ratted out. I don't have my gong.
Where's your gong?
That's not.
You know what?
They moved it.
I have missed like
moved
a
it.
session day because of illness and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't gong me.
Well, Alicia remembers the day when I would call people on my Rat Me Out Thursday show and ask them
Rat Me Out Thursday.
why they didn't show up to vote.
Yeah.
We'd call them straight up live on the air. She heard one of them shows, and then I put the names out and I banged the gong. Ding, 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 you know what I mean, calling them out. But I haven't been, I'm running out of energy, Alicia.
Instead of the fear of
Dave
God,
sa-
it's the
Dave
fear of
says I'm
George.
getting nice. I'm a little more nicer than I used
He's
to
a
be.
little nicer than he used to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
It's my influence.
Absolute, no doubt.
But he
Wendy's.
used to do that. Would call up somebody at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I still do that.
He doesn't need sleep.
I call somebody. They need to be called. What are you doing? Where were
He
you?
doesn't. He'll come in for me to run my board when Maddie's not here. He's like,
No,
oh yeah, I'll be there.
Listen,
It's amazing.
we do the roll calls, Dave, in April and May
I know that.
on the air, and some people are there for the vote at 10 o'clock, but they're not there for the 2 o'clock vote. Now, where did you go?
Well, they might have had a.
Are you
family
stuck in that
issue.
granite bathroom that costs $3 million? I asked them live on the
They
radio.
might have had a family issue.
I know this.
No,
is,
they don't have a family issue at 2 o'clock.
I know this is crazy, but some people don't take the job as seriously, or
Oh.
they have to have another job because we don't get paid. So you have to have another job.
Alicia-
so
You
have to
sometimes
be
people.
But
wealthy
the
or-
clerk, I had that clerk on. I called them at 9:05. I knew they were in. The clerk up there that puts that information in
Paul?
there. No, this was years ago with somebody else. And they mark on there, as I've read out loud to you, Dave, present, not voting.
Yes, there are certain.
That's my point.
There are certain times when people not in my party, but the other party are told if they're going to vote a different way to take a walk.
And take a walk.
That does
and
happen.
there's also, they says, excused. I never bring those people's name up because they went out of their way to call.
Yep.
I'm not going to make it. It didn't even matter. It says excused. But not voting, we need to know why. That's why I'm here. But anyway, she has not been gonged yet. Many people
I'm
have.
not going to get gonged.
You might. Hey, you never
Ever.
know. Well, now you're gonna be. You may be an alderman at large. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something about radio. She's the only girl in radio that I know that interviews her opponent. She had her opponent on
really?
her show, Shoshana Kelly.
Well, and
She
Amber
interviewed
Morgan. Yeah.
and Amber. Who does that? Nobody. I would never do it, but she does that to make it fair
Yeah,
and
Tyler
balanced.
didn't accept the invite. I mean, we
But
we
you
put it out
invited
there
Tyler.
well, we invited everybody. We
I
said
do know
anybody
that.
that's running for office, I know he sees our stuff, and he did not come on.
This is the tightest alderman at large race I can remember in a long time.
Well, you've got four.
Tight. Well,
Tight.
there's only 4 running.
I know, but
So
you know
so
what?
you're gonna win.
Four
my
for three
point
seats.
is you
everybody
can't-
has different strengths.
You
It's
can't
an
go to
interesting
Jimmy the
group.
bookie and say, "Hey," because it's not a shoo-in.
Jimmy the bookie.
That's a low. That is a low number for at large. Because when I ran at large, it was 9 people.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
1965 though.
no,
Things
it
were
was
different.
not. And it used to always have a big amount of people running.
I mean, the
But
Beatles
now
were coming
I
out when
don't
he
know, 4
Yeah, I don't
people.
know. I'm
"Love
not
Me
sure.
Do," and he was running for alderman at large in 1965.
And they have no race for public works. They have no race for a fire commission. There's a lot of.
Well, and some of the wards don't have anything. I think, what is it, Ward 4? They only have one alderman,
Yeah,
and that's it.
They didn't
You're,
have
you're
any.
talking about back then.
No, no.
Right now.
Right now, we've got fire commission and we
There's
got board
2 seats open and there's 2 people running.
Yeah,
They're
Public
automatic.
Works, too,
They
too.
win.
Yeah.
And the Board of Public Works is the same thing.
So Paul Shea, the
He used to.
Great American Downtown, and other things in the city,
Yeah.
and June Lemon, who used to be on my show all the time on Tuesdays, and I called the segment Lemon's Lefties. And she was
good.
very good working off me, and we had a great time.
She's great.
Yeah, she's fun. And we had some fights on here, boy.
She's a
They
lot
were
of fun.
at 7:00 in the morning on Tuesdays. We were battling. June is a warrior. She is just and then she was really one of the forefront people behind getting the dog park going, which I don't know
Right.
where that is now.
I think they're getting ready to like break ground or something. So I think that's like right away.
John
right?
Sullivan told us this morning that the NIMCO building's down, and I was just there the other day, and it wasn't down. What a behemoth of a job! And when did they do it?
Well, last week I did see a building it was like half down there. So I don't know.
Okay,
if
well
that's Nimco or
wow.
a different
Maybe
building.
it was
I don't know
10
if it
days
was
I was there.
I don't know.
Maybe
which
the
one
east
it
wing came down so fast they
We have a-
decided we can get this down.
We have a
faster.
camera down there at NPTV6.TV for those of you that are interested in seeing some of the things that they've been talking about at the Board of Aldermen meeting tonight. It is at the Pine Street Extension entrance. We've had it up there for 2 years. Not a lot of what you would call riffraff on that camera, but we do get it on that live camera. The city, if it is one, is to the left of that camera, out in the back, which I would think by Thursday morning, it's not going to be there anymore. I mean, just because of the vote that'll be out tonight. Now, George does not have the answer of where they're going to go. I don't know.
Well, these are people. These aren't like
Yes, they are.
knickknacks.
No,
you
they-
know, and you and I've talked about that. I heard you talking about some
Yes,
of my
you were the
ideas.
one. That was an astonishing interview.
But these are people. They're not.
Tell everybody
knickknacks that put somewhere.
what your friend in Texas, what they do.
Well, so they have in Austin, Texas, they actually have a community that is kind of all encompassing. So they have services there. People learn to, do trades there. They, get jobs. They really learn to function because a lot of these people have had either they've been down on their luck or they've made some challenging decisions. Just throwing things at them won't make that all of a sudden change. So this is an entire community that's built on therapy, built on family. They even have like a bed and breakfast where people can go stay.
Can you imagine?
It's a fully functioning, sustainable community, and it's working. So not only are people able to live in there for a while and sometimes live in there permanently or whatever, but they're able to then move all along in their life. They're able to then
Do you know how
build
many
to
people
something
they
else.
service?
I don't have.
It's got to
that
be more than
number.
300.
It's quite a few, and I don't know that number off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but I can certainly get that for you. But it's impressive, and we need to start looking at bigger things, because like I told George, if you've met one homeless person and talked to them about what their plight is or how they got there, then you know one story, period.
Yep.
Every single person has a different story.
That's
And
heartbreaking.
these are people.
It's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
they're
Some of them-
people. And right now they are focused on where all of our services are. So guess what? We have all these services downtown. Why would they go anywhere else? This is where they can get, because they're trying to survive, whether they're self-medicating, whether they're trying to get, warmth or whatever else. They are trying to survive. They're going to be where the services are for them to survive.
And I think
And
that's
that's here.
I think that's an important note. It's, I don't want the listeners to think that nothing is being done, because the city is working hard with the health department and the police and all of our nonprofits. Several of these nonprofit leaders that are housing and security are on my board. It's just the number of people.
The needs are immense.
The needs are immense, and there aren't enough beds. And that's why, even though we have plenty of homeless beds at particular times, we have not been able to keep up with the capacity at all. So I don't want people to think that we're starting from scratch, because so much has been done and so much effort's been put into it. And so I don't want to negate what's already been done, because
Yeah.
they're just overwhelmed.
We have great services, and I think one of the things that we have is there's such a need that we are like manically putting on like Band-Aids on everything and not able to really get into those root causes, because we're so busy trying to just stop the bleeding rather than figure out, okay, where is the bleeding from? Can we go down to that level and figure it out? And the problem is not going away anytime soon. We have a lot of people losing income, losing food. These needs are going to get even more. So it's a huge problem, and it's one that's worldwide, unfortunately. And it goes back to biblical days, right? Like, it's not something
Yep.
we've ever fixed. But Austin, Texas has this really amazing program where they're actually making a difference. It's pretty
Much larger
impressive.
city. I think that
Well, they have Apple there. They have some,
Right.
big, and they have taxes. They are able to, get services, do things. That makes a huge difference.
income tax, sales
Well, there
tax.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
We don't.
it's money.
Yep.
Comes down to money.
And sales tax is one of those things. You have a lot of people that you're not necessarily paying for it. It's people that come in for vacations and stuff. That's huge.
So
in
you're a
Texas, they
house
have
rep
that.
too. Are you for a sales tax?
I think it's something we should definitely look at. Yeah, I think that because right now we don't have anything else, so everything gets focused on property tax, because we have things that have to get funded constitutionally. Things have to get funded.
Is it time?
I know. I think it was Governor Shaheen that was very close to passing something, and I think it died. I don't know. It never happened, but it's not easy.
Well, we took away interest and dividends, which was silly.
I know.
It was such a silly thing. I know a couple people that were paying it. They had no problem paying
Yeah.
it. And we have to have some kind of income. I know that even Governor Ayotte has said, like, we have to have some kind of income. This is a problem. We have things we have to fund.
Once you open that door, though.
Well, of course, once you open the door, you have to be responsible about it. You can't say, okay, we're going to do all these things. However, if you can continue to keep it the way you are, then you're going to see your property taxes go up more. That's just how it goes, because everything is under one pot.
Our property taxes have quadrupled in 20 years.
Right.
crazy.
And that's
Quadrupled.
only New Hampshire residents paying that. So if we want to start thinking about how can we get other people to, cover up some of these costs too, sales tax is one way to do it. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but it's an idea we should be talking about, because otherwise our property taxes are just getting untenable.
Well, there should be heavy tariffs on Nung Fu Springs when they take over over there. For the city of Nashua.
What,
I don't
gonna
think
be
they're
treated
taking
like
anything
any other
over.
business. They're going to pay. They're going to pay property tax.
I think their
Well,
bases have stepped up a lot with that.
You know
sale
what? And I'm
price.
interested too. One of the things that Sununu did a lot of for out of state, out of country businesses is to give them breaks, to give them certain tax
Well, that
breaks and
happens in
stuff.
a lot of states.
Did they? It does. But in our state, where we're really like trying to be no taxes for our live free or die people, we have to look at what kind of break did they get to bring that here, because they thought they'd go to Rhode Island and said they got convinced to come here. So
Wendy's telling me to wrap it. I have somebody actually telling me to wrap it up.
Oh,
I got to keep them in line.
yeah.
How do you like that?
It's really so. I'm very exact with my scheduling,
Oh,
and we have
look.
we're like 20 minutes off.
Word for word. I gotta. Oh, okay.
Well, I appreciate
Here's what's going to happen here. If I'm on
opportunity to come
camera,
in today.
move the camera when I whack him across the.
No, do it live because we can raise money that way too. $5 a
Yeah.
whack on George's head.
Oh,
On Main
all of
Street.
our financial
got
problems will be
$100 from me.
solved right there. 100
Get
bucks.
100
from you.
bucks. See?
Well, Alicia, it was great to see you.
Thanks
as always.
for the opportunity to come
And,
in. Sorry I couldn't come in.
Oh no,
when you
I, was,
designated.
I definitely said on the last show that you were not just a no. You were. I have a conflict that was already set, and I made sure everybody knew that because I didn't want people to think that when we had the three
I
other
appreciate that.
aldermen at large candidates that you didn't just show up. You immediately said, "I have a prior commitment with the committee I sit on," so I think that's very legitimate.
Well, we
and we're
will.
glad you made the time.
After she leaves the studio, rat those out that didn't respond because
I
I
didn't
will.
bring that list.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got
Don't
it?
worry
All
about
right.
that.
He's
All
never,
right.
Wow.
never going to fall short on that.